Hello, we're going to read a story that is a graphic novel. Have you ever read a graphic novel before? Well, this story is a modified version of a Cinderella story, and it's a Korean tale. So we're going to notice some similarities and differences between the Cinderella story that you may have heard and this one, Pigling. So let's take a look. I can see that her shoe has fallen off and there is someone coming from behind. And she looks a little bit worried. So let's see what this story has in mind for us. Now this is a map. And you can see Japan and China, and then North Korea and South Korea. Here we go. I'm going to zoom in a little bit to the pages. A long time ago in Korea, when the world was younger and magic wasn't so hard to find, an old man lived with his beautiful wife on a farm. They were happy together, but more than anything else in the world, they wanted a baby. For years and years, they waited. So as you read graphic novels, you continue to read from left to right and go down. Until finally the woman learned that she was with child. The woman gave birth to her daughter. She and her husband were thrilled, and the old man immediately planted a pear tree in celebration. As the old man stood admiring the tree, he thought of the perfect name for the baby. Pear Blossom. That's what we shall call our daughter. Pear Blossom's parents loved her with all their hearts. They worked hard to give their daughter the best of everything. In the spring, her mother wove a pink ribbon in her daughter's hair. The ribbon was as luminous as the blooms on the pear tree. In the heat of summer, she used a ribbon of gold. And in the autumn, she made a pear blossom, a brilliant yellow garn to match the changing leaves. But then one winter, when Pear Blossom was 13 and all the trees stood cold and bare, her mother passed away. Pear Blossom's father didn't know what to do after the loss of his wife. "Who will care for my daughter?" he cried. And so, even though his heart was still broken, he took Pear Blossom to the village and went to see a matchmaker. He knew she could find him what he believed he needed, a new wife. "Oh, I think I have just the answer to your problem. We'll do 3 in 1. A wife for you and a mother and sister for your young one." And so Pear Blossom and her father met the widow the matchmaker had spoken of, as well as her daughter, a girl Pear Blossom's age, named Violet. Pear Blossom's father very quickly married the widow, who immediately told Pear Blossom to call her Omnia, which means mother. Omnia and Violet moved into Pear Blossom's home the next day. New family. Pear Blossom tried hard to make Omnia and Violet feel welcome in their new surroundings. But that morning at breakfast is when all the trouble started. "Pear Blossom, this is cold. Stoke the fire and warm it up for us." "Oh, I'm very sorry, Omnia. I'll heat it up at once." "Here, Omni, this should be more to your liking." Ow, it's too hot. I burned my tongue." "See what you've done? You've hurt your sister. How dare you?" "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to." "You've done more than enough, little girl. Get out of our sight." Are you already noticing some similarities? Now you can see this box. It's not talking, but it's almost as if a narrator is speaking. But that was only the beginning of the bad treatment Pear Blossom endured at her new relative's hands. Mother, she's not adding those spices right. Obviously, no one ever taught her how to cook. Either that or she's too stupid to learn. As the days went by, Omni and Violet grew harsher and harsher. Mother, she's going to ruin our clothes. Look at how clumsy she is. Don't worry, daughter. If she damages a dress, she'll work to pay for 5 new ones. Look how ugly she is, Mother, down on her hands and knees like a little pig. Why, that's what we should call her, Violet. She'll be our little Pigling. Don't you like that name, Pigling? Pear Blossom didn't think she could do anything about the way she was being treated. These were her new family members. She didn't want to displease her father by complaining about them. Every night, Pear Blossom silently cried herself to sleep, wishing things could change. But there was one very important thing that Pear Blossom didn't realize. Even as tired and dirty and miserable as she was beautiful. Pear Blossom was the most beautiful girl for thousands of miles around. And Omni and Violet knew it. Their hearts were eaten up with jealousy of Pear Blossom. A sad future. Finally, after 3 long, painful months of insults and abuse, Pear Blossom couldn't take it anymore. And she decided to approach her father. He was the man of the house. Surely he could do something to help her. She wasn't sure what to say or how to say it, though. Her father had grown so much weaker since her mother died. But he loves me, Pear Blossom thought. He'll understand. He'll make them stop torturing me. Father? Oh, my lovely daughter, how are you doing? Doing well, I trust? Well, Father, that's what I came to talk to you about. Good, I'm glad to hear it. But you run along now. Your father's just very tired. But Now, it's not polite to interrupt me when I'm trying to nap. You were taught better. Run along and don't forget to mind your new mother. She knows what's best for you after all. Pear Blossom's heart broke again when she realized her father would be no help at all. She was in this situation on her own. So Pear Blossom resigned herself to her new life of loneliness and misery. And years went by. Gradually, Pear Blossom forgot what it was like to be happy. Omni and Violet never let up on their taunts and insults and abuse. Because the older Pear Blossom got, the more beautiful she became. And they hated her for it. Even though Omni showed her own daughter every kind of motherly affection and devotion, she lay awake every night trying to come up with new ways to make Pear Blossom miserable. An unexpected friend. But then one day, shortly after Pear Blossom turned 18, her luck began to change. Even as Omni's spitefulness toward Pear Blossom grew. We're going out for a while, Pigling. By the time we come back, I want that jar filled with water. I'm sorry, Omni, but I don't understand. There's a hole in the jar. I don't want to hear excuses, Pigling. Get that jar filled or I'll make you wish you had. What am I gonna do? Is there no one in the world who can help me? Jug full, jug full. What? Jug full. Don't worry, jug full. Were you talking? Don't worry, jug full. Pear Blossom realized, as strange as it seemed, that this talking frog was going to help her. Oh, how delightful. Thank you for your help, Master Frog. I am friends with a magic frog. What are you going to do, Pigling? if she didn't get the jar filled, Mother? Well, you'll have to see, dear. And there's no way, since she couldn't have filled the jar. How is that possible? What did you do, Pigling? I'm not sure you'd believe me if I told you, Omni. Oh, you'd better tell me, and right now. Well, a magic frog helped me. Magic frog. Violet, go have a look at that jar. We'll find out what the Pigling has done. Yes, Mother. What do you notice about the frog right now? It's hard to see anything in here. Oh, what? Whoosh. This is Pigling's fault, Mother. She made this happen. I won't forget this little pig. You'll get yours. Now come, Violet. Let's get you dried off. All right, that is where I'm going to stop. And I want you to start thinking about all of the ways so far this story has compared to the Cinderella story that you know. Thanks for listening.